Mitchell Hooper put chop down about 5 metres from where the frame was, and I knew in my head there that I won. Mitchell dropped the frame exactly where he put that chop, and that's when I knew I'm going to be world's strongest man. The best thing for me is Mitchell Hooper taking my title. I always had him in the back of my mind. I think it's very healthy to have the champion in the back of your mind, knowing that if he's training, I'm training harder. If he's recovering, I'm recovering harder. Mitchell Hooper seems to be a robot and can do every single competition, and he wins them all. And now you're getting half back in the scene as well, which now he's saying it's him versus Mitchell, which I don't think. I think it's going to be me and Mitchell for a long time, 1 and 2. I'm just lucky enough that I'm able to win it more than once, and I'm just a humble guy from Invergordon that likes to lift weight but quite good at it. So.
He is up there in the pantheon of greats with 3 titles. No man from Great Britain has ever won more. The 3 times SPD World's Strongest Man, Tom Stoltman.
Hello and welcome to a special World's Strongest Man interview with the 3 times World's Strongest Man, Tom Stoltman. You've probably just seen Tom win the World's Strongest Man final over here in the UK, so we thought we'd catch up with the big in himself to get his thoughts on it. Tom, welcome along. How does it feel now being the 3 times World's Strongest Man?
That's pretty special. It puts me up there now with kind of an elite few, especially like the greatest British strongman to ever grace the sport at 30 years old is a pretty special title to have as well. But for me it was always about just winning it once, and kind of what I've done at World's Strongest Man is beyond my expectations. To win it 3 times and obviously podium the other 2, it's pretty special. But yeah, it's been a lot of media stuff obviously this back of the year after Worlds, and a lot of different opportunities that I grabbed with both hands as well. And if all strongman's my full-time job, some opportunities you get from winning World's Strongest Man you have to take with both hands, and that's what I've done, and I'm just enjoying my life right now. So.
Now I'd like to take you back to before the start of World's Strongest Man this year. People went into that event and a lot of people thought that Mitch Hooper was going to run away with it. Can you remember how you were feeling before the event, and did that spur you on with all the people saying that Mitch was going to win back-to-back titles?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Mitchell Hooper's an incredible athlete, but we're all human, and for me, World's Strongest Man's at the event that I always perform at. Like for the last 5 years I performed at that. For me it's the pinnacle of strongman. Whenever some kid or someone starts strongman, they always say I want to be the world's strongest man, and that's what every person watching it on TV, everyone that sits down at Christmas time, that's what they know. They know that title, the world's strongest man. So before that I knew the best thing for me is Mitchell Hooper taking my title, because I knew that this guy is here to fight with me, and this guy is making me raise my game, and that's what I wanted. And I think at World's Strongest Man this year I raised my game to another level as well. I always had him in the back of my mind. I think it's very healthy to have the champion in the back of your mind, knowing that if he's training, I'm training harder. If he's recovering, I'm recovering harder. And that was my thought process going in. For me, I'm OCD with World's Strongest Man. Everything's written down, everything's to a T, and that's the only competition of the year that I have like 10 to 12 weeks prep. And people know when I get 10 to 12 weeks prep, I'm almost invincible. It was just him in the back of my mind, but the main focus was make sure I go there 100%, and I know that I'm in a very good headspace, and I'm in the best place physically, as well, and I know that I have a great chance of taking that title back home. So.
Both yourself and Mitch breezed through the qualifiers without exerting too much energy. The first event you're up against him in that Giants medley, when you saw, and he's probably favourite for that, got into it, when you saw him flying ahead, and then you didn't see him kind of flying with you, going back the way with the frame carry. What were your thoughts then? Because it reminded me too of the year before when the shield carry happened and you went off quickly and then he caught you up. It was quite similar to that in many ways.
Yeah, I mean, well, I look back at that shield carry a lot before I went to World Strong, because for me that was a rookie mistake. Going up, and when you're up against Mitchell Hooper, he finds a way to do incredible things. And going into World's Strongest Man this year, when I looked at those events, I knew that I had to work harder than ever, because a lot of those events weren't my best, and especially that first event in the final. Mitchell Hooper, is known as the best in the world in yoke and frame as well, and for me it was just in training, just try and do a steady yoke and make sure I hold that frame and grip it. And I knew that when I was going on that line, I was pacing up back and forward, but the thing that got me was Mitchell Hooper put chop down about 5 metres from where the frame was, and I knew in my head there that I've won this event. For me, that was the only time I've ever seen Mitchell have that mentality of not being a winner, and that was then when he put that chop down. I was like, this is mine, and I just did my own thing. Was slow yoke. Mitchell, no one's going to beat Mitchell in yoke. As soon as I got that frame, it was pick up and go, and Mitchell dropped the frame exactly where he put that chop, and that's when I knew. I think I came second or third at that event. He came 6th or 7th. I knew from there, if I just keep this up, I'm going to be world's strongest man. So from the first event after that final, I knew that I was in the driving seat, and when I'm in the driving seat at Worlds, I'm very hard to be beat.
Seemed to with Brian as well. You were leading straight away. You're in the lead. Is that really important to you to have that?
Yeah, I think it's very important for me, or to place in that event. And honestly, in that event, I thought Mitchell Hook was going to win, and I had to come 3rd place minimum to get the points there. So yeah, that was a much better place for me to be in. And it was, like I said, it was that chop thing that really got me before I even started that. I looked over to his line, seen that, and I was like, this is my title now. And that's, like I said, that's the only time I've seen Mitchell Hooper have that vulnerability in his mindset, and that was when he put that chop down. So.
Going into the second event, the max axle, your overhead is much improved this year. What did you put that down to?
The pressing for me was just had to hit it hard in training. Again, I'm fighting one of the best in the world at reps, but for me, rep work and 1 rep max work are totally different things. When I've done so many reps on axles, so many reps on logs, but I really just needed to get statically strong. So it was a lot more of 2 or 3 reps and a lot more cleans, and I've just been more efficient with the axle. And I think that's the most important thing. Cleaning the axle is one of the hardest things. If you get that wrong, then you're not going to clean it. And I knew I was good for 210, and I knew Mitchell was probably going to try something crazy because it's Mitchell Hooper. But I knew that it was going to be between me and Mitchell and that, and I knew that nobody was going to really push us on the axle. But I just knew that every single event I had to keep either above Mitchell or 1 or 2 places below him. And again in the axle, I think we both got joined first in that. He tried the world record, failed it, and again I was very, very happy with that because that was a PB for myself. And to do that after all the qualifying events in the second event in the final, I was very pleased with.
And then, so that gave you a 3-point lead going into the third event, the last event of that day, the keg toss. 3 of you broke the world record, but I don't want to concentrate on that so much. There was a weight slightly before that you were on your last keg. Did you realise that there was like a hush around the whole arena because everyone thought, oh my goodness, he's not going to get this? Did you feel the pressure in that moment?
No, I think for me it was just concentrating. I think for that we did a mistake and we went too far forward from the bar, but I think it's alright doing that for the first few rounds because I'm strong enough to get it over. But I think with the adrenaline I just stayed there, and it was actually Luke who shouted to me, go back, and that third attempt, I was like just saying to myself before I threw it, you're being stupid, like this weight should be, height should be easy for you, stop mucking up, this is where you lose your title if you lose this throw. And I said that in my head, chucked it over, and thankfully it went over. Obviously got the world record, and then I felt like, I think I went for the height after the world record, and I was so close from getting that as well. I think if I had a bit more energy I would have got a higher height, but again another good result for myself. I think it was 3 of us drawing first place. It was a very good first day of events for me. So. You
maintained your 3-point lead overnight. You've slept on leads before at World's Strongest Man. Do you get nervous? What do you do in that day off? Yeah,
so the good thing for me at World's Strongest Man, I had my whole team there, and that was a very, I had a sports psychologist, and that's what he said to me. He said, you need to take your whole team there where your job is to lift weights, your wife's job's to make sure you're okay, and everybody else there with you, they'd hate all the stress, and that's what we did. And thankfully that it went 100%. When I went back to the hotel, I chilled in my room for an hour. I went down with Dan and had a half an hour talk with him about the first day, then got the first day out of my head, and then we chatted about the second day, because visualising what's coming out is very, very important for me as well. And I just said, this is what I need to do for the next 3 events to live, because they were really good events for Mitchell Hooper with the deadlift, Conan's wheel. This is what I have to do to win World's Strongest Man. And I said that over in my head. We analysed it, and then after about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, had food and didn't talk about the event at all. Had an amazing sleep, woke up the next day ready to go, and had my plan waiting for me and ready to get that title home.
A good thing, because the Conan Circle was the next event, and the Conan Circle the year before, you really didn't do that well, did you? You had a nightmare. So no nightmares the night before, but going into that, did you know that if you did this well, then it was it?
Yeah, that was the event. Conan's wheel, you know, I look back, I always look back at the year before these events, and I mean, I think I did Conan's wheel and I had no hands on it at one point, but that was the event for me. I was like, right, if I come last year, I've lost this title again. It was kind of like the keg, and thankfully for me, I think I was the second last or last up, one of the last ones up in that event, so all I needed to do was come top 3 in that event to kind of guarantee basically winning World Strongest Man, and you know, thankfully I did that. Pa really helped me in backstage as well for a different grip, and it felt solid. And yeah, I just kind of was like, don't drop it, hang on. I'm going from last place in Conan's wheel a year earlier to 3rd place. It's yeah, what more could you ask for? But that was all it was. It was just grit, hang on, and you know, I was fighting for something there. It was like I was fighting for the World Strongest Man title. I ain't giving this up, and yeah, 3rd place was good enough for me. So.
It felt like there was a pressure release there after you completed that run circle. But then you went into the tower deadlift. Were you surprised that you beat Mitch in that? Because a lot of people thought that Mitch would take that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, a lot of people say if Mitch was, you know, hands with the way his hands were, but at the end of the day, we're professional athletes, so from, you know, your head down, you should be going into competitions 100%. Hands are part of your job, you know, and as you look back on the first event, he didn't pick up a frame, and I knew that I'd won World Strongest Man when his hands were 100%, so yeah, I think I deserved to win the title that year. I just think I was really consistent, and I went about it, you know, in a very good way, and I think I was mentally strong. Like you said, after the Conan's wheel, I started like just pacing back and forth in the tent, get my chest up to make sure that everybody knew I was there. You know, I was like just trying to stay around Luke. We had that positive energy. He was being loud, so that everybody knew that, like, you know, Tom's not here to play. And yeah, the deadlift, I got told by Dan, do 7 reps, and you know, if you do 6, that's all right. If you do 7, that's perfect. If you do 8, then that's world class. But you know, 7 reps was the goal for me. Luckily I was out with Rag as well, who's an amazing deadlifter, so that really helped me as well. Did 7 reps, and then yeah, thought Mitchell was going to beat that, but thankfully he never, and I knew from there then I was World's Strongest Man. So.
And then you're the best Atlas stone lifter in the world, if not ever. Was there any nerves going into that?
There's always nerves going into Atlas stones. I mean, for me, you look at like Glasgow Giant Slag, you look at some of these events that you just, sometimes creeps into your mind when you know, especially at World's Strongest Man, when you've got an hour or 2 before events and you're like, crap, I might not win it. You know, you get messages through from your friends and people saying, no, Tom, you've done it, you're World's Strongest Man, but you know, that's disrespectful to think that at the end of the day, anything can happen. You know, I could have went out when that first stone slipped and that would have been me, so I knew I had a job to do. I knew that I was capable of doing this job, and I knew that if I just did these 5 stones in whatever time, I'd be World's Strongest Man, and that was the goal. I wasn't caring about how fast I did it. I just wanted to do one by one, treat every stone as a single, but make sure all 5 are loaded and win it. And thankfully, you know, I had a really good chill out at the backstage. I let my team pick the tacky for me. I let my team just do everything for me. I trusted my team to pick the right tacky. They picked the right tacky, put it on me, and I did the rest. So that was it. And thankfully, loaded all 5 stones, and heard that Tom Stoltman 3-time World's Strongest Man. It was a pretty special feeling. So.
Is there a feeling like it? You've done it 3 times now. Can you encapsulate and try and explain what that feels like?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's every time's been different. Obviously, the first one is very special, but you know, it was COVID, so I just had Luke there, so it was bittersweet because you know, half your family miss out. The second time, obviously, being back to back, it was unbelievable. But for me, the 3rd time, I mean, I've never seen so many Scottish people. I've never seen so many British people in the crowd, and like, the amount of people that came over just to support myself and Luke was unbelievable. To Luke to give me the trophy as well, and just to kind of get that trophy back as well, because I think it is very hard when you lose a trophy to like keep that mindset of like, you know, I'm 2nd place now, I can't be bothered doing this. But it made me work harder. It made me realise, you know, what I had to do to get this title back, and I think all that hard work and sacrifice and you know, the missed nights with Sinead was really worth it to get that trophy back. But yeah, they've all been as special as each other, but every single time I win it, it just goosebumps, and yeah, I'm just lucky enough that I'm able to win it more than once and just try and keep putting Britain on the map, keep putting Scotland on the map. But yeah, I'm just a humble guy from Invergordon that likes to lift weight but quite good at it. So.
My image of the end was Mitch Hooper, after you won, he stayed out there and he clapped you around the arena. And I can remember when he won it, you did exactly the same thing to him. And it was a great thing to see that you're both magnanimous, both fierce rivals, but you're both magnanimous and congratulating each other when you both win.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing to see.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows Mitchell Hooper's an amazing athlete, but for me, he's beatable, and that's the thing that I proved here. I proved at World Strongest Man. I've done it at Giants Live Glasgow, and I think it's disrespectful for people online to say he's unbeatable, because every athlete's beatable. And for me, I had to last year when Mitchell Hooper beat me, the better man won. I'm not going to go and be in a huff and not shake his hand and stuff, because I respect Mitchell Hooper as an athlete, and what he's done for this sport has been unbelievable. And then the same this year as well. He clapped me, he was on the podium, he came afterwards as well, and we had a private conversation, which is really nice. You don't really, fans don't really see that. They just think like, oh, Tom hates Mitchell, Mitchell hates Tom, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, strongman's a very extreme sport. We have so much respect for each other, and yeah, Mitchell's an unbelievable athlete. But yeah, I know when I'm 100% and on that kind of World Strongest Man pedestal, that to knock me off, you have to be something special, and that's why last year Mitchell Hooper was special, and he was the one that knocked me off the pedestal, and all respect to him then. But this year it belonged to me, which is I'm very happy with. So.
And Mitch had a fine year after World's Strongest Man, and he may well be the favourite going into the next World's Strongest Man. Bizarrely, you've been 3 times World's Strongest Man. It just shows you how close it is. So what is the plans for the future in the next kind of few months before World?
Yeah, I think it's no word I lie. I think Mitchell Hooper, I think there's no other athlete like him. If you talk to the Halford Johnsons and Martin Leases, they do 3-4 competitions for a reason, because their body gets battered. But Mitchell Hooper seems to be a robot and can do every single competition, and he wins them all. And that's fair play to him. He's very smart at what he does. He thinks outside the box. But I always say, he's not unbeatable, and that's the thing that I've proved. We had a lot of good battles. Yes, post World Strongest Man, I've not performed as well as I wanted to, but media stuff, Strongman for me took a back seat, and I did what I wanted. But I then started getting frustrated. Obviously, going to Vegas, the last competition I'd done before the year, was the end of the straw for me with the team I've been working with. I think for me being World Strongest Man, I need to go into every single comp 100% and have to be top 2. That's it. In my mind, I have to be top 2 in every single event. I think it's just when you're the best in the world, you have to do that. So, going to be changing my coach for 2025, focusing on 4 competitions. For me, I want to focus on 4 competitions in 2025 to see how much I can actually push my body and actually go into every single competition 100% and see if I am unbeatable. And now you're getting Halford back in the scene as well, which now he's saying it's him versus Mitchell, which I don't think. I think it's going to be me and Mitchell for a long time, 1 and 2. But it's just I need to be able to protect my body at all costs. I can't do what Mitchell's done. I tried it, but every single comp after Worlds I've done, Giants Live, and it failed miserably for me. It worked for him, but next year we're going in with a game plan. We're going in with a new team, a new set of eyes, and a body that's going to be 100%, and a mental state that's going to be 100%. Because, like I said, World Strongest Man, the only reason I think I perform in it, people think I care about it the most, but it's because it's the most prep I've got. I mean, the only Giants Live show pre-World Strongest Man is Britain's and Europe's. Everybody knows I don't do Europe, so it's not a busy calendar. So, if I have 8 weeks, 10 weeks prep for the big 4 shows, and I'm going to be going into them 100%. Whereas I'm not having 2 or 3 weeks prep, I can't do that. So yeah, my plan is just to hopefully dominate next year, and then let's see what happens after that. But yeah, the main focus for me is World Strongest Man as well, 2024. Mitchell Hooper will obviously be the favourite. I think right now he's a favourite every competition he does, but I quite like not getting talked about. I think the thing I don't really like right now is a lot of people get you when you have these bad competitions, and for me it's a bit like, I've done a lot in this sport, say with Mitchell Hooper, but right now Mitchell Hooper's the talk of the Strongman, which he should be. But I think you have to realise as well that I've had 2 bad competitions the last 2.5 years, and this rivalry is going to keep going and going and going and going every single year. But yeah, let's see what happens in 2025. I'm excited. The main thing about me is I'm motivated again, and I'm excited to start a new chapter with someone else in my team and see what happens. Because I've had, obviously Dan's a massive inspiration to me. He's a friend of me, he's more than just a coach. He was getting a lot of hate online, which he didn't deserve it. I think he's put me to being a 3 times World Strongest Man and the most successful British athlete. So, but I think, when I know it's time to kind of cut ties with him with his injury, and he knew that as well. But he's always going to support me as a friend, and I wanted new eyes, and I think this is going to be the kind of new Tom Stoltman, because I don't think I've competed at 100% Tom Stoltman. I don't want to just be, like I said, turning up for World Strongest Man. I want to be turning up to every single competition and being like, right, I'm ready to compete, let's do this. So let's see what happens in 2025, eh?
Indeed. Well, on behalf of everyone in the Strongman community and Giants Live, congratulations, the 3 times World's Strongest Man, Tom Stoltman. One last question. What is more likely to happen first? You winning the first World's Strongest Man title or Rangers winning the league?
Rangers winning the league.
Oh, there you go. Okay, thanks. That's all from us.
Here comes the hate after that.